Good evening. What's going on, YouTube? It is currently Tuesday early morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning. I just got home from work, got the little turtle in the garage, and this is what time it is. It's time to do an oil change. So the oil that's currently in it is what's been in it since the first fire up and whatnot. So it's probably got, I would say, anywhere between 30 to 40 minutes of just idling and revving. And then I definitely put about 2 miles on it this weekend. So it is definitely time to get it changed in preparation for the dyno. There's a couple things I want to do before it goes on the dyno this week, hopefully. Oil change needs to happen. I do need to put the dashboard in. That way it just makes everything a little bit easier. And it obviously makes the car a little bit more complete. And then I definitely need to be 100% sure the cooling system is good to go and bled. So tonight's objective is going to be changing the oil. And I actually bought this new tool. It will cut the oil filter apart, and we're going to look at the inside of the oil filter to see if there's any shards or any specks, and just to make sure the oil is healthy. So it's kind of neat. I've never actually cut open a filter before. With Brian's race car, we have a removable filter, so we can disassemble that, clean it, and inspect it as well. But I've never actually done it on like a screw-on type filter. So it was definitely a tool worth investing in, especially now having an auto trans. The converter is going to pull a lot on the crank, so I'll at least be able to see the bearing wear as it goes. So I guess step number one will be to jack her up and put it under the jack stand and start draining the oil. And then the next step after jacking up the car is going to be removing my oil plug, which is a 15 millimeter. On this particular pan, I have a Holley 30202 swap oil pan. Nice and goldish, but you can definitely tell there's fuel dilution in it, which is definitely normal, especially on a car that has fresh rings. It smells like beautiful E85. So I just brake cleaned the body of the filter. As you saw, I just drained the oil, I swapped the filter, I put a new filter on, lubricated the O-ring, that way it sits nice. I bought this brand new pan because I want to use this to lay the filter out in. So that is what we're going to do right now. We're going to take this pan, put the filter in it. Cut this filter open. So as I mentioned, I have never cut apart an oil filter before, but it definitely seems, or it definitely was a lot harder than I was expecting. I just assumed it would come apart, but I literally had to force this thing to rip off, and then this one I can't even get to come off. But now you can actually take the filter, spread it apart, and look on the inside, and I have yet to see anything that's relatively sparkly. I don't see any chunks at all. There's like this black residue, but that's from the top of the filter. But I have yet to see anything that looks bad. And that goes on the inside or the outside of this filter. So all in all, I think we are good to go. Nothing. I would definitely say I may have gone a little long on this oil change. Like I said, just because of the fuel dilution. E85 with fresh piston rings is a pretty rough combination. But you can see here, you know, everything's clean. Nothing metallic-y. No chunks. It's just fuel and oil. But like I said, there's little crap, but I think that's because that's where I pulled the filter apart. But I don't see anything that's a metal. All this is just gunk from the paper. But I definitely will have to practice with this in the future. I have never used one of these tools before. It definitely, you know, separated it very nicely, but definitely need more practice with that. So, alrighty. So now that the oil is drained, we just verified that the filter looks pretty dang good. We got 7 quarts of oil we have to put in the motor. And just like that, oil is changed. 7 quarts of that good Valvoline VR1. And we are all set. I'm not going to spin the motor over right now. It's too late at night. But I will definitely spin the motor over tomorrow, confirm the oil pressure. But oil definitely needed to be changed. A lot of fuel dilution, like I said. But thankfully, I don't see anything in the oil filter. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna try to disassemble it a little bit more so I can get, you know, maybe pull it apart. That way I can look at it a little bit better. But like I said, I didn't see anything in the oil that would strike an alarm. So I am happy. So the kind of plan is hopefully either Thursday or Friday, the car is gonna go in the dyno at King's Performance. That way I can start playing. It's nice to drive the car. I drove the car quite a bit the past couple of days, off camera. No real reason to record something that's not 100%, but it feels great to drive it. So I'm super motivated to feel what it's like to have a 700 and change horsepower Miata. The kind of goal that I have as far as power and torque, it'd be kind of like 750 horsepower, 750 foot-pounds of torque. That's kind of what the engine and the turbo are going to be capable of. So I'm curious to see what it'll do on the dyno. It'd be nice to see those numbers on the dyno, but the time slips are way more important than the dyno sheet. The car can make 1,000 horsepower, it can make 5 horsepower. It all depends how she is on the track. So That is my night upload for you guys. We did the oil change on the turtle. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.